Hey guys, what's up? Mace here, and I am here today with a first-person cast, a 1v1 matchup, and it's going to be between me and Melody. And I've had lots of good 1v1s recently, especially Protoss vs Terran. I feel like it's one of my strongest matchups. And I feel like this game did a good job of kind of showing you both good things that me and this Terran player did. And I think it kind of shows some obstacles that sometimes Protoss players will have against turtling Terrans, especially. And yeah, I'll just kind of go through that as the game goes on. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah. We'll just start commentating the game normally. So this guy right now, he's going off for a standard supply depot barracks block off right now, and I'm going to be able to scout this guy. Now, one of the things that I'm thinking of about Lost Temple is that if I can get an early scout like this and see that he's right here, it's kind of sometimes can be in my advantage to go for a rush. Now the thing is, I don't want to go double gate rush on this kind of guy because if he is able to wall off effectively enough and repair, then my zealots are not really going to be able to do much against his marines, even if I am able to get a lot out fast enough. So typically, I will always go a zealot then Stalker against Terran, and I will try to go for some kind of harass, especially against PvTs who are going a 1-1-1 build. It's very nice to be able to get a Stalker or two as early as you can because, yeah, they'll have a couple Marines, but if you can bring your Zealot in there, take a couple of the shots while your Stalker is doing damage to the other Marines, then you'll have a pretty good chance of sniping out at least a couple of their units while not losing any of your own. And secondly, maybe even a supply depot if you're able to kill enough Marines. So I've had plenty of games where I see Terran going 1-1-1 build, and it actually is to my advantage where they do something like that. So yeah, you see right now I'm going for my Cybernetics core, probably going to be popping out a Zealot soon, and this annoying little SCV is scouting out my base. Sometimes I will try to get maybe like a worker or two and try to trap them against a pylon if they're just sort of sitting there, but this guy is pretty rambunctious and he's moving around, so I'm not really going to be able to catch him all that much. So he's doing a pretty good job scouting. I am unfortunately locked in here. I usually like to try to get out, but I think he threw down that supply depot a little bit too early for me. So yeah, this Marine is probably going to catch my probe. I'm not going to be able to get too much more out of what he is going to be able to do, but typically I do always like to pop in with a probe or a Marine and or a Stalker and try to get in here. So this guy's economy is pretty much matched to mine. I have one more worker than he does, but he is a mule, so his income's a little bit higher. That's gonna happen all the time. So yeah, you see right here, I'm actually going for double Stalker right off the bat. I'm not going to go for the Zealot. And he sees that this is coming, but I don't think he's really prepping for it. So yeah, and this Terran is going a super fast economic build. So another thing that you might be having trouble with is that these Terran players who turtle and go eco, it's kind of the same thing as fighting a Zerg who tries to go a fast expand on you. This is really pretty much almost exactly like a Zerg going a fast expand. He might be getting out a little bit later, but Terran are able to defend much better with bunkers. So I'm coming out right now because I want to see what this guy's doing and maybe be able to snipe out a couple of Marines. So here come my Stalkers right now. Will I be able to get a Marine? And I think that SCV is going to be able to finish the bunker in time. And no, I wasn't able to get that SCV. If I came out maybe just a little bit sooner, I would have been able to deny the bunker and kill a couple of Marines, but this guy was up on his game and he was able to get that defense out soon enough. I mean, he did have that scout, so he knew I was coming, but maybe I should have sent out my first Stalker. And so I'm just trying to deny this guy as much construction as possible because he's got his Marines in his bunker. I've got my Stalker shooting out right now, and there goes, I was able to destroy a barracks. I think he canceled it, but I know at least I denied a barracks and an SCV I was able to kill, and I haven't lost anything yet. So it's kind of nice to put this pressure on Terran because face to face they really can't do anything. They can run back and turtle just like that, but I can kind of keep my Stalkers around here and regen my shield as much as I want. I'm even going to be able to have free reign on this command center and kill a couple of Marines. What I like to think about when I'm doing a 1v1 is how many, like the resource loss tab. I kind of like to keep this as a mental picture in my head, and I feel like if my resources are much lower than his, then I'm doing a better job in the game so far. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb, like something I like to think about. But this guy is definitely in a very comfortable position. He has finally secured his expansion. I don't really have enough forced to take down a bunker. So I'm just going to keep harassing. Yeah, like I said, I mean, even if he pops out all his Marines, I can still kite the Marines around and kill him before, and kill 2 or 3 Marines before I'm going to have to be forced to run back for realsies. But yeah, pretty much I'm just still harassing the supply line. And now, see, this is what he's going. He's going out full force with these Marines. He definitely has enough. I wasn't able to catch that at quite the right time, so looks like I actually am going to be okay. And oh, my little probe, I think he is going to be able to scurry away safely as well. Oh no, he just gets shot down there. But see, I've got these stalkers here. Now I have a pretty sizable amount of stalkers, and what I'm able to do is kind of shoot, run, and fire. So you actually can stalker kite Marines because you're much faster than them, and you have 6 range against their 5 range. So basically, what that means is that you're always going to be able to get the first hit on them, and your Marines are only going to be, and these Marines are only going to be able to get a couple of hits off you by the time you're going to be able to kill one of them. So it's actually a pretty effective strategy to just kind of stalker kite the Marines as much as you can. But this guy's got 3 bunkers, so I can't really do anything right now. And I realize that since he has invested so much early money in getting this expansion, I'm not really in that bad of a position getting one right now, because as long as I keep my harvesters up at a healthy amount, then I'm really going to be able to keep the income relatively even. This guy actually has done a really good job of keeping up on the harvesters. Sometimes you'll see people go fast expand, but you'll just have more harvesters than them, and your main isn't going to be fully saturated. You want to have at least 24 or I think 24 is the max. So you want to have 24 workers on your minerals, 3 in each geyser. So 30 workers per base is a fully saturated base. So that's kind of what I like to keep in mind when I'm thinking about if someone is fast expanded. Do I have a fully saturated base against theirs? But like I said, this guy's doing a good job right now. So I'm just trying to keep my stalkers out here in case he decides to move out. I will be able to see it. I don't like to give up map control. I always feel comfortable having as many eyes on my opponent as much as I can. So usually that involves sending out a probe to scout or sending out a probe to his unlocked watchtower. I will often throw out probes to my enemy a lot if I don't have an observer, because it really is worth it to know what they're going, because Terran can scan and they'll be able to see most of what you're getting, so you can't really afford that. If you think about it in terms of like, oh, I don't want to lose a probe, that means I'm behind on income. Well, if he's using scans to scan your base, then he is losing mule economy, so really you're not losing that much. I mean, you are technically losing a probe, but you're pretty much just equalizing on a mule, and a mule is worth more than a probe in the short run. So might as well just throw that out and use it for scouting. But I don't really need to throw out any probes right this moment, because I do have these stalkers and I know pretty much what he's going at the time. And yeah, this guy's going a very heavy Marine Marauder build. And another thing that Protoss have trouble with, especially this guy who's just got so much momentum on the economy. Right now we are pretty much even, but this is kind of how I like to defend against this. I will show you. Typically, I like to, this game actually made me start building out my pylon here on Lost Temple. I like to think about the fact that I do have this high ground, so it does make, it's kind of like a home base advantage. I do have this high ground, so I am able to use this to my advantage when I am defending. So I do have Blink right now, and I'll show you kind of how I deal with this Marine Marauder blob that I'm supremely outmatched against. So here I go. I tried to distract him back here while I'm moving my stalkers to my ledge. So these stalkers are going to be able to kill tons of Marines. You see there's just like a body brigade of dead Marines right there. And so he is trying to scan, but I back off. I don't want to lose any stalkers, and I'm going out here to see if he is going to be going towards my expansion, but he is not. So I have pretty much defended against this this Marine Marauder blob right here, despite the fact that I was really outnumbered. So that just kind of shows you what I like to do. I have this pylon out here, but recently what I've been doing is I put the pylon here so that I can warp in units back behind the Terran player, and that really throws them off guard because they don't know what to focus on, and I do have this high ledge. And you see right now this guy is going bunkers right now, so this player very aggressive using that Terran static defense against me on the offense. So I'm like, I can't really afford to do this right now, and I have these high Templars, so that is kind of my hook right here. I'm trying to destroy these bunkers as much as I can. I think he's going to get one up, but one side storm does go down, and that other bunker does go down as well, a sensor tower even. So this Marine Marauder blob is going to be pretty weak. Stim is going down. I'm trying to blink away. I don't want to fight Stim Marine Marauder. That is just kind of suicide. If you guys are losing against Marine Marauder early, it's probably because they have Stim. even if you do seem pretty evenly matched, because that stim is definitely going to play in their favor. So now it looks like I am in a comfortable spot, so I'm going to kill the sensor tower, be able to hunt down these marauders, kill that expensive tank, so I'm in a good position right now. He has tons of weak units. If I can get a blink and maybe kill some more, I think that's what I try to do. I am able to pick off 3 more units there, so yeah, definitely try to use stalkers as an offensive unit as much as you can, and offensive, I mean kind of like assassin units, where you use their blink offensively and try to hunt people down, because you are faster than the entire Terran infantry as a stalker, especially with blink. You can even move away if you get in an uncomfortable position. So try to use blink as much as you can to hunt down units. And I think I was trying to go for a blink up onto this ledge, but he has a well-placed missile turret right here, so pretty solid Terran player right now. So yeah, I have tons of resources. I'm starting to go into my kind of mid to late game PvT build, and what that entails is getting at least 2 more gateways, and I'm going a double robo right now. And you see both my Templar archives do have that research. Please get the Kaidarian amulet as much as you can, because sometimes if you just really need high Templar, you don't have the luxury of waiting for 20 seconds or whatever, how long it takes to get energy. It might be 1 energy per second, so that'd be 25. And yeah, also, if you see a turtling Terran like this, another reason to have that Kaidarian amulet is because you could just spawn High Templar on this ledge and just keep harassing. So I absolutely hate just sitting in my base and waiting for a macro game. So bringing out a Warp Prism is going to be really effective. I have already killed, it looks like, 9 workers, and this Warp Prism is just barely able to live. And so I'm in a nice harassing position right here. What this does